Greetings. This is kind of friends and family on this Saturday morning doing a video after probably a month of not releasing any trader insight videos. I apologize. I've been a little busy. So this is my website, and if you come here, you'll notice I've got some new products that we just launched. One of them is a Discord server. Very excited. And the other are my algo triggered risk indicators, which are very much useful in an environment of volatility, which we have right now. So I invite you to come check them out. The Discord server is free for the month of June, and it's very affordable after that, $35 or $75 price points. I'll explain a little bit what that offers. And the indicators are live right now and will be launched on the Apple Store in the matter of a few days. So definitely check that out. My risk management is a superpower. Indicators are fabulous, and I'll do a separate video on that. The Discord channel is women owned and operated. This is fabulous community. Rithika is my Discord social directress, and I am also piping in my market thoughts automatically from my client Slack workspace, where I populate during the day. I run a live trading room, as many of you know, as well as publish my macro to micro thoughts. Lots of trade setups in a chase environment, and those are getting populated automatically with my market thoughts. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. She's young and active and very engaging and a hell of a trader. So Rithika at my LaDucTrading.com/Discord for free month of June right up until July 5th. And the algorithms are a trial period, 7-day trial. You can go intraday for chase trading. Swing trading is more of the go with the flow. And then portfolio hedging is really when you want to pay attention, because I'm quite the, volatility focused trader. But we hadn't had any volatility until this week, so I'm going to go back before I go forward and do a little trading insights video, populate it in this little playlist here. I'm also going to be taking a little bit of a break this summer on the Macro to Micro Power Hour and the Women in Trading and Finance series, just because I got, the summer doldrums hitting. No, I've also got my daughter coming home finally from Europe, and I am very much looking forward to spending more time on celebrating some success and also family and friends. So you're going to get me in these trading insights, and they're going to be short and to the point, and that's what I want to talk about today. So we got 3 trades that I want to talk about in this particular video, and I'll do up a few others when time permits. How we went about and traded NVDA, SHOP, and DOCU. So for those who are in my live trading room, you benefit from full access to my Slack client workspace, and I had populated back on May 21st that NVIDIA is strong on announcement of 4-to-1 stock split, but needs to get and stay above 609.10 to be exact, to move higher into 614.90. So these are chases. I have 3 different time frames: chase, swing, and trend. Chase is very much a few hours, few days. It can turn into a few weeks like this did. First posted this idea on the 21st and then gave levels and traded this right up until Friday. I had a particular price target, which was $776 on NVIDIA. Didn't have that when I posted it at 609.10. All right, this was definitely level by level by level, and then I check in with clients and let them know what's going on with that trade all the way through to the end. And the end was basically should rest now. And my price target was literally 776. So let's take a look at the chart. NVIDIA on, and I know this is a little messy, but we'll get there. NVIDIA on that fateful May 14th, which was, we'll get it. This is a day time frame, by the way. That's weekly and that's hourly. I'm kind of into that child, parent, grandparent, so I want to respect the elderly very, very much so, because they have a lot of influence. But otherwise, the chases are right here on an intraday time frame, and long story short, to turn from a chase into a swing, into a trend, I use these, backdrops. Okay, so on May 21st, we had this particular move higher right here, and my point was we needed to stay above a particular level, which was 609.10, to move higher into this 614.90. So hopefully you can kind of see, and I will put, I think, a little bit cleaner an image here. All right, so we did a really great job of staying above this number and got right into my 614. Then I followed up and said, okay, it held also support on the weekly, which was really important for me, and it is now pushing through 620. So I had obviously expectation that this would move higher, and then I gave levels of, okay, how much higher. There were a bunch of momentum plays that we were on from Facebook and Snap and Roku, etc., because the rotation was pretty clearly moving into momentum stocks and out of cyclical value. I'll talk about that separate. That's more of a macro call that I made. But going back to the NVDA play, it was on its way, and I wrote on May 28th, oops, a little bit here, that it was on its way to weekly trend line. You can see hopefully the cursor over here, okay? So on the 28th, it looked very, very firm to tap out about the 660 level, okay? And it had held weekly support. I was basically excited about it. And if I put this, you can see this was the trend line right here, okay? So we pushed into the trend line, which is lining up over here with this line, and I said, I can't believe it. And shockingly, this does not look tired despite tagging a weekly trend line resistance, which typically is it very, very much a level of either going right above it and then quickly back in, called a fake breakout and a fast failure. But this just poked its head above, which is right here at this level, and stayed there, okay? And it continued to move higher, and I wrote that when it was $666. I said, shockingly, does not look tired despite tagging weekly trend line resistance. So moving on, I had some other stocks that were shooting through the trend line, which basically told me, implied that there was a lot of strength in this move. So they turned from chases into basically swing trades, or basically just trading around these levels as soon as this broke out. So on the 4th, I updated clients saying, okay, this is all the way to my 680 price target next. What are we going to do about this thing? You can see intraday right here. It's on a fib level. And that's really tough to see close up. But the point was, it had, in fact, gone into a fib level of 100% from this move, right? With a 4-to-1 stock announcement, and then 100% up. And I do like to use fib with a whole bunch of other things depending on the situation. This was a strong stock. I needed to have some idea of price targets because it's blue sky at this point, right? So as soon as it breaks out of this trend line, there's just no resistance. But everything digests. Sellers can come in at any point, etc. So this was not high enough price target. It was pushing through the 78.6 fib level, the 100% fib level, and I don't really like the 100 fib. I like the 78.6 and the 127. So let me kind of stretch that up a little bit. All right, so for me, this did a great job of tagging and then digesting, and I actually put that. So it's now above. We got 690. See that level right here? As long as it closes above, that's what I actually wrote. So it's very strong. It needs to close above 690.36. Literally wrote that. And it looks, and I said, Jesus is strong. So what happened next? I updated and wrote literally, here we go, nice shallow pullback from 708 to 690 daily support, and now back to 708, again on way to 732 is the next fib level if this Momo move holds. So sure enough, it did exactly that. It went back to 708 intraday, and I said we need to, we push through 712.50 and then 717.5, and we can see 732.83 this week. So take a look at that, try and kind of keep that in mind. It literally played out perfectly. It came back intraday on the 14th. Well, let's go back here. We put right here. It came back literally, that was just gorgeous. Came back to 708, it stayed above. We need to push through 712, then 717, and then we can have 732 that week. We pushed right through it. It was a really great place for people who were just coming into, you know, they had missed the origins of this, if you will, when it was back at 609, and could enter here as a low risk entry. It was also holding beautifully the 3-day and the 8-day. These are exponential moving averages. Anyway, it was just performing as a very resilient stock. Did exactly what I thought. Coming in, shallow pullback at the 100, broke above, shallow pullback, and then boom, hot fire flames. This is definitely past when it did push through that 732.83. That I kept giving levels, and these are the kind of intraday levels. It needs to get and stay above 712, needs to get above 732. You can see this, right? So level by level, and then boom, Jeffries upgraded it, saw an 18% upside, and it just took off. And I actually put that exactly when it happened, chase ideas in the morning, NVDA rises, and it just did this kind of thing. So now what do? When do you take profits? Well, guess what? I was still bullish, and I'm going to show you why. It was very much clear to me that this 732 wasn't resistance. We were going to go to the next level. It was incredibly strong. So my literally on the 18th, okay, which was the morning of 9:56 a.m., I said, okay, 764, was my call for the 1618, okay, which is right here, 764. But we have a measured move here on the weekly of 776. And this is no joke, what I wrote that morning, okay? And you can see, right here. Measured move of 776. This is already at 764. Where do you take profits if you're really, really excited and you're just coming in, or you're trying to figure out when to close this out as a chase? What a great trade. Well, sure enough, what did it tag? High of 775. I was off by $1. So from 609.10 to 776, I think that played out extremely well. All right, so some other things that I am passionate about is not just going long, but finding the reaction to earning. This is also on a news, right? So it had a news item that basically said, hey, NVIDIA's going to do a split, and there is a typical kind of run up into a split type of scenario. The other is earnings. So I have liked DOCU as a trend trade idea for some time, but it digested sideways, and it's just been a waste of money for a year. I mean, yes, you can chase trade all of this stuff, but again, my backdrop is as a trend trade. So it needed to break above this trend line in order to be interesting as a swing, which means multi-week. Like I expect it to move for a few weeks. A chase can reverse in a few days, right? NVIDIA turned into a swing, but the point is, this was a firm swing immediately when it got the earnings result, and this thing opened up incredibly powerful. And I hope you can see where I put this cursor, but this was still underneath the trend line, okay? So it turned from, oh my God, that's a beautiful gap up. We can chase this above the low, this 209, but then it got inflamed, if you will. Everyone jumped into it and pushed this through the trend line and all of these moving averages of resistance right up into what's kind of like a cradle formation, where you have an expansion bar, red, down, followed by sideways, dojis, sort of, not really, but they're sideways, and then you have this reversal and it moves right back up to the area where it broke down or got rejected. So this was ultimately my price target. Then I thought it would digest, come back to 226 before moving higher into this trend line. It happened very, very quickly, and it was all told or kind of foretold by the power of this gap up. So that was an earnings play. It digested for a few days, broke out again, digested for a few days, and I will be perfectly honest, that surprised me right here. I really thought it would do a little bit of a shimmy here at this trend line and pull back. So what did I write in my Slack channel for clients? Play by play. Just typing in DOCU and trying to figure out when did I get into all this excitement. That's April, because we had some. All right, so DOCU on the June 4th needs to stay and close above 207 on the hourly. It started out as a chase idea, to move higher into 215.66. Okay, this may turn into a swing if and when it gets above 217. Well, it got into 217 in a New York minute. So this was the trade. It needed to stay. I really liked also the pockets of momentum that were moving. ZS, Datadog, Zoom, DOCU. Unity was slow to launch, but not everything works, by the way. Those two didn't. My recommended QS and Tilray, they didn't follow through. So, but the rotation did. My theme for momentum was going to move higher, and then the cyclicals and value would get, the reflation trade would get dumped. I didn't think it would get dumped as quickly and strongly as it did post-Fed, but it already had turned on May 10th. And I had warned at the end of May that it was going to get a lot weaker, but it really picked up speed after the Fed had a hawkish statement. In any case, those were definitely fabulous plays as far as chases that turned into swings, and NVIDIA that just, again, 609 to 776, DOCU from that initial launch pad, which was a fabulous move, just absolutely fabulous move, from an earnings play that basically triggered at 207, okay, and again, higher than 215.66, could pull back, trigger higher, and literally when it gets above 217, it's a swing trade. So from that 217, it actually reverted to a swing trade, and it's now 274. Impressive. All right, the third that was also hot fire flame was Shopify, and this was really kind of go with the flow. Just don't interrupt the flow. It had a flow. So let's go through this on my Slack channel as well. And there it is, May 18th. Where were we on May 18th? Let me just bring that in a little bit. Right here. All right, so you've got this 200-day, okay, literally wrote on May 18th, shop near open at 11:05. 11:05. This puppy hit 1485. 11:05 to 1485. How did that play out? Okay, so on this day, and I'm going to clean it up a little bit so you can see it. Come on. All right, so when it was on the 18th, I suggested near open at 105, it could make it today to 1150, and then at 1150 needs to get and stay above 1147 on a weekly close, which it did to stay bullish. It went from 1105. I'm going to do it back on the daily. I think it's a little cleaner. We'll keep the fib there and this one. All right, so I'm just literally reading from my Slack channel. Shop into the 21 week at 1194. Right here. Okay, level by level. So it needs to stay here. This is this beautiful formation right here. It needs to stay here. This is swing bullish to 1330. So you can see it went sideways for a few weeks and then it shot up. So that's the exercise in patience. This whole level right here, it got to an absolutely key area where on a weekly it had a gorgeous expansion bar above all the moving averages that matter, and it closed there. That's wicked bullish. So beautiful. So my next price target was 13.30. It took a month basically. Okay, exactly. But it did take time, and that's why it's a swing. Anyway, it held beautifully. It got up to 13.30, and then at 13.30, and I did write that, tagged 13.30, took longer than expected, and now looks headed in time to 13.84. That's the next one. It got to 13.84. That was the next level. And then it hit. Next level I gave was 14.39. Fabulous. Remember, this was recommended 1 month prior to that. And then lastly, it just tagged the underneath of the trend line. I posted this on the 18th at 14.82. That was my price target, 14.82. It tagged 14.85. I said it might overshoot to 15.10. Okay, this is this area right here. But talk about a gorgeous trade, right? And I actually think this can still shoot up like a NVDA, right? Boom, right through it. It still has, let's just say, fuel in the tank. However, volatility is coming into the market, so I recommended really tighten that up because that could right now get rejected. So shop, gorgeous. DOCU, and we're talking from 11.05. DOCU, fabulous. Gap up and just go and stay with the flow. And then NVIDIA, beautiful, including my 776 price target. I was $1 shy, and then it hit it, the Bollinger Band, the 161 fib retracement, and profit taking came in. Hope that was helpful. That's how I traded and recommended Shop, DOCU, and NVIDIA to live trading room clients as well in Slack for my trade alerts. And then for Discord, they got the benefit of this the last week. So level by level, these chases were entered into my new Discord channel. So you're getting a little taste of that while everything is free, and I highly recommend you check it out.